All right, everyone. Country here this morning. Well, I got a little thing I'm doing here. I'm getting all my trout lines ready and limb lines and cane poles, all that kind of stuff. Getting ready for fishing. I'm getting all my stuff ready now because usually when I'm done for the season, everything's all a big mess. I just throw it in an old ice cooler or something. It's all a big mess. And so I take a day then, a couple of days, straighten everything up and get everything ready so when I get out there I can just set up real easy. And if I wait to the last minute, when the weather and all gets right and the river gets the right level and when all that everything's just right, usually I can't find any hooks or anything. Everything's done sold out, gone. So y'all stick around and see what all I'm gonna show you on getting my lines ready. All right, what I got here in this old cooler is this is how I do my limb lines. I take this little piece of PVC pipe and I put that reflective tape on it. That way I can find them in the dark if I come back checking in the dark. And well, I dropped it. Eventually, one end I make some kind of loop out of just some kind of old cordage where I can tie it to a limb or tree root or something. And then this end where the tarred line is at, that's going to be the end where I'll put a swivel just like I do on all my other stuff. And then I'll tie on a long piece of line and I'll just wrap it around and have it ready with another swivel on the end of that, and I put then my leaders on it just like I do my trout lines and everything else. So that's pretty much how I do those. And I even tie some ribbon on here where I can find it. I always make mine where I mark them some way, and I can find them at night and I can find them in the day. And what I got here is some of my noodles. You'll probably see me do this before, but that's a pool noodle. Also got a piece of PVC pipe in it. And there will be a little piece of reflective tape back there. And usually that's what I got a hole on that where I can tie that off because they'll go floating down the river on you, but you got to kind of stay with them. Sometimes I want to leave them, so I may tie them off on a long line, like a trout line, and then just let the bait just swim around all over the place and use a live bait with a noodle. And then again, the tarred line down at the end will have a swivel on it. And I always use several swivels because I've just learned from the past that the big fat catfish, they'll just twist off on you. They just keep rolling and twisting as they twist off. And I don't care how heavy the line is, they can still break it when they twist. So that's how I do those. Yeah, I'm going to show you some more here. I'm just now getting all my stuff together and kind of picking up the pile of stuff that's everywhere. Alright, to start with, what I'm doing is on my limb lines I gotta loop one of my barrel swivels in there. So you put one of the little barrel swivels on it. Gotta get that in there. Alright, I got that on there. Next, what I'm going to do is pull off some of my line right here. Some of my tarred line, I'm going to pull off maybe about 12, 15 feet. I might go a little longer than that this time, just so I can get out away from the bank a little bit with it and drop it in the water. And then on the end of that, then I'll put another barrel swivel and I'll have my leader on it. And that leader just depends. It may be a leader with a sinker on it, which that's usually how I do it, or I may do a leader with no sinker on it. But I always got to kind of have a little sinker on there. Your live bait can swim off, or the current's going to carry it away. You got to have something to kind of hold it there for a while. That's where I'm at so far. Alright, I got about 15 foot. And I'll make a loop at the end. Same way I pull it around, make all my other loops, and always tie a little knot like that in that running end. That just That maybe keeps it from raveling out some and helps keep it from coming untied. So that then will be put on that leader. Well, the barrel swivel on the end of it. So I'm connecting my leader to it now, so I don't have to do it later. I just wrap it around it. All right, see, I got it all on there. So I got this real long leader then. Then I'll do on the other end the same thing that I did here. And then I'll put another swivel down there. That way I can attach then these pre-made leaders that I have to go on this. So I'll show you that in a minute when I finish one up, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so on the other end here, I did a barrel swivel on the end of this long line or drop line or long leader, whatever you want to call it. And then let me get one of my leaders here and I'll show you. Then I have these leaders made up. There's a hook, there's a sinker, and all the way down the other end here. I mean, that's all I do. I'll slip that through the barrel swivel and loop it on. And I have all that way that they can turn and twist, because they always get around something. They'll go down, they'll get around a log or get around a stump or something, and they just keep twisting and they twist off. I try to prevent them from twisting off, because they're going to mess up all this line anyway. I'm trying to make all that suspension in there. And tie all this together. And if something happens, usually when something happens, it's going to be this leader right here that they mess up. And I have that fixed where I can take it on and off easy. I can just take it loose from the barrel swivel and have another leader ready to go on. Makes everything so much easier. Alright, there is my limb lines and my leaders fixed up. And I didn't do all the limb lines that I have. I just did what I think I'm going to use. And you see I put all my leaders like this with a hook, and I hook it in this styrofoam ice chest. That's really the best way to carry hooks and leaders, so you don't get hung up and you don't get stuck. And then when you do that, then these ice chests, you can just put the old lid back on top of it, press it down, latch it down with the little latches they have, and latch it down, and that keeps you from losing all your stuff. If it gets turned over or something, it may get turned over and kind of be kind of tangled up a little bit, but it's easy to get out. And another thing I started doing on my leaders too, that I changed a little bit, instead of putting a knot in the end and having this ready to make a loop, I leave it undone like that. That way when I grab this hook here and pull it out, that hook isn't getting tangled in all the stuff down there. It just makes it pull out easier. Makes it where I can work it a little faster. So that's pretty much all my leaders there that you see, all my hooks that I have. I'm probably going to have to set up some more. I'm going to need a lot more on my trout lines, and then I'm going to have some limb lines, and I'll probably set up some cane poles too, where I can stick them in the bank and stick them way out, and I'll show you how I do those too. And got that. So limb line stuff is pretty much done. So I still got a little bit more to go now. Well, while I'm doing my lines and all, I got to thinking about my old boat here. So I got an old boat here I got to work on, and I'm just gonna get out here and pressure wash it and clean it up, trying to figure out what all I got to do to it. So this is another little project here that's going to be on another video, so you can be watching for that one. Alright, what I'm having to do now is all my limb lines, all my noodles, all my trout lines, everything has got to be marked with a tag. It has your name, phone number, and your license number on it. They're making us do all that kind of stuff now. It's just something that's causing more work on us that I think is a bunch of bull crap, but just to go fishing, you got 3 or 4 days worth of work in order to do what they want to be legal for you to do it. But that's what we got to do. So that's where I'm at now, is putting tags on everything. I'm just putting a piece of duct tape on there and then writing on it with a Sharpie. It says you have to write with indelible ink. So by the time we put our name and phone number and all that information on there and everything, I guess that's the way for all the spammers and the scammers to get a hold of us then. Crazy to have to do all this. All right, about got everything done. And this is my top line for my trout lines. And all I did is I pulled me off a couple pulls across my chest, and then make that my end that ties to a tree or whatever. And then I'll pull across my chest and pull out a little piece like this for a loop, and then I put my barrel swivel in it, and I can get 25 hooks on like 170 feet of this heaviest tarred line I can find. I don't remember what the number of it is, but it's pretty heavy. And that's how I do my lines. And then, all look the same way. Just stretch it out and then come back, put the leadered hook on it. And along the way on a trout line, of course, I'll have sinkers to sink the whole line, something pretty heavy. So that's my lines. And I've showed you my noodles. I've showed you how I do my limb lines. And the next thing I'm going to do is just cut some cane poles, and there ain't nothing to that. I'll show you how I do the cane poles when I get out on the water. So that's about all I got this time. And y'all just keep watching, liking, sharing, subscribing. You subscribe, click the little notification bell, you get a notification every time I post, and give me those thumbs up. Gotta have those. And that's about all I got this time. Till I see y'all next time.